Hey everybody, welcome to PDQ Live. Today I'm joined by the fabulous Austin Momborg,
Hello.
filling in for Tara.
Yep.
Also on with us is Eric Nymark from SmartDeploy.
Eric, my man.
Later in the show, Eric's going to show us some of the new kind of features and new architectural changes to SmartDeploy. But before that, we're going to chat about, in kind of in line with Cybersecurity Month, remediation plans in PDQ Detect.
Mm-hmm.
Then we're going to have a PDQD Spotlight, which is a new segment. Kind of excited for that. The behind the scenes of how it's made at PDQ, kind of introduce some of the folks behind the curtain. And then finally, like we kind of teased a few weeks ago, it's the behind the scenes of the studio. Like, how do we actually make the webcast?
Oh, yeah.
So we get to see all the new tech there.
Sounds like a full course meal.
I'm super excited. Also, kind of want to call it out again. Today we've got a Connect webcast immediately after this, I think at 11 Mountain Time.
Yep.
So go ahead and join that. You might have a chance to win a Steam Deck as well.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Should we get started?
Yay.
Okay. Let's pounce in right here directly into PDQ Detect, right? So this is an instance that's already established. It's already gathering data. So if you're kind of new to this product, sorry, we're jumping in right in the middle, but we're kind of assuming that you have it set up, and now you need to start working on some of these remediations.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so we're going to pick this first one up here at the top. So this is from the reports remediation section. And what this workflow is made to do is it's a ticketing system, but light, right? It's a constrained workflow of how do I have these vulnerabilities, I need to patch them, I need to do something with them, and I need to track to make sure that they're actually done.
Right.
So right here from the top, we're just going to pick this first one that's update Firefox, right? This remediation report is the to-do list. And we're going to add it to an action plan, right? If you already have an existing one, you can add it. Maybe you have one that's like, go do browsers, but we're just going to say this one is new. So we're going to create a new entry here. And this is going to be update Firefox, you doofus.
Yeah.
Okay. And we're going to pick the owner here. And I'm just going to assign it to me. And we're just going to leave it to an unassigned group. So this works for a lot like your basic ticketing platforms. You could have groups, you could have help desk, you could have sysadmins, you could have areas of responsibility, whatever you want to do. And then it's going to set some targets for you, some SLAs. Right now it's like remediate on non-prod by October 30th or, on prod by October 30th. You can change these to be what your organization's SLA is. Okay. So we're going to hit save here. And we're going to hit refresh on accident. Okay. So now that we've got our action plan, we've got update Firefox, you doofus is here in our planning stage. So this is where you could bring things in for triage. Maybe it's who's going to do what and in what order. The next thing that we're going to do is we're going to go through this basic workflow of moving it to an execution, right? So this is what you're actually like going to go do something, right? So it's assigned to me and it's update Firefox, you doofus. So now that I'm in execution, I know what I need to do and on what machines. I'm going to come over here to detect. And I'm going to come up here and I'm going to search for Firefox, right? Mozilla Firefox. I'm going to deploy Firefox. And I know in my group, I've got like, these podcast machines. And I come in here and I deploy to any of the machines that were in that thing, right? So we're going to let it go ahead and do its thing. And when I come back, now I can say, hey, I can mark this thing as treated.
Right.
Okay. So it's like, did you do the thing you said you did? Yeah, I sure did. Now the next thing that it's going to come into is this fix pending confirmation.
Right.
So I identified it, I fixed it, and now we got to wait. And so what's going to happen is the next time that those machines are scanned with detect and the fix is confirmed, one of two things is going to happen. It's either going to confirm the fix and say, yep, you did it and move to a closed state. Or it's going to say, actually, do you know what? It didn't get fixed because of XYZ, your deployment failed, the process is still running, blah, blah, blah. It'll come back to reopened. So in our case, we're going to assume that it's going to be closed. And here we go. This is what they look like when you're done. These are closed, right? So someone did the same thing for Chrome. They did the same thing asking, why do we even have PuTTY around? But that's the kind of the constrained workflow here, right? This is how you take a big pile of vulnerabilities, assign it to a person, use a tool. Maybe it's Connect, maybe it's deploy an inventory, maybe it's some other tool that you have to go work on, right? Maybe the vulnerability found is in VMware, and you have to go use like the VMware Update Manager. But this can be your source of truth on how to do what and where.
Yeah, these are super common in most vulnerability reporting software, right?
Yep.
Like a form of flow or assignment. And this was super simple.
Yeah, this is a way to come through, and it's automatically doing the checking for you to make sure that it actually got fixed. So you can and can't fudge it. Like once you get these things out, like maybe you move it to a different ticketing platform.
Yeah.
Someone, once they say, yep, I deployed the fix, close it.
Mm-hmm.
Now you've got like this disjoint, right? Where one ticketing system saying it's done, but your vulnerability platform is still saying, no, it's not.
Right.
This forces and confirms fixes in here so that you don't have to try and reconcile that.
Right. And everyone loves metrics. And it seems like you can report and download and it's good.
You can get it all here. A lot of places have like SLAs.
Yeah.
For like, you must fix criticals and XYZ. Maybe it's in some compliance framework you use. Maybe it's for your cyber insurance. Maybe it's for whatever. This is a really easy way to just show that you're actually doing it.
Right. Like ours is 2 years. So we kind of put 2 years out and then we patch it.
Yep.
So
yeah, it's 2 years eventually.
Yeah, we kind of get to it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We're so busy.
Alrighty. So that's what we have. There's the vulnerability management kind of workflows within PDQ Detect.
That's right.
All right. I think next up for us, we have a
question in the chat. If you want
yeah, we have a question in the chat. Which one there?
Did I get it? Oh, I didn't punch it.
Nope.
That's it. Is this feature available in the big license of PDQ Connect that includes vulnerabilities?
So this feature exists inside of PDQ Detect. It is not inside of Connect. So no, the short answer there is no. This is a feature that's in Detect, and it's most useful when you have to transfer from one application to another because like your single tool can't get to everything, right? Detect can find a vulnerability in a switch, in a router, in a firewall, in a printer, in anything connected. That's when you probably see the most value in this feature.
Right. You could probably correlate the vulnerability as well, right?
Yeah.
Search those same vulnerability.
And then correlate it to a fix action and an SLA and a timeline.
That's right.
And I think there is one more question that we can give you. When can we get a PDQ ticketing system that ties in with Connect and Detect for patching, application requests, etc.?
That's a great question, and I want the same thing.
Yeah. I haven't looked at our API reference for Connect in a while.
Yeah.
But with that, and most ticketing services have a pretty good API as well.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure about Detect, but you could be your own little integration.
Yep. We actually do, like internally in IT, Rachel actually uses the Detect API and the ticketing system that we use internally.
Yeah.
And we've got some automation there, but I agree with the sentiment, and it's actually something that we're actively kind of looking at, not like actively coding or anything, I won't say that, but we're actually looking at like, hey, what does this look like for our products?
Right.
All righty. Moving on. Let's go to a new segment here. I'd love to hear kind of like some feedback on this. But this segment is introducing some of the behind the scenes, like how it's made, style.
How the sausage is made.
Yeah, there it is. All right. So let's talk about Sergio. Wonderful.
Oh, yeah.
I love this.
My bad. I thought that was going into a video. Here, one sec. Here.
Oh, thanks.
You're welcome.
That was a great transition. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Now we'll do it.
Now let's do it.
Hi, I'm Sergio. I'm a software developer, allegedly. The flexibility. I can take off when I want to. The hours aren't crazy. We are not forced to work extra hours. And the people is great. I love my team. I love the people. I'm mostly working on the Connect agent, so backend. Do a lot of Rust, a little bit of Elixir as well. Well, there is no much relaxing right now. We have a 7-month-old, so there is that. But yeah, I try to play a lot with him and try to learn how to be a parent, I guess. Well, I was kind of in jail once. I did nothing wrong. I was backpacking in France and they didn't like my visa and I spent like a couple of weeks in jail. They tried to deport me. But embassies intervened and everything ended up fine. And I don't have so much time lately. As I said, trying to learn how to take care of a little human. I barely know how to take care of myself, but that's a big challenge. Definitely work remotely. I don't have distractions. In the office there are plenty of people, which is great if you are social, but for me it gets like I get distracted all the time talking with people, and yeah, get a quiet environment and be by yourself, relax and do your stuff. I always like puzzles. I decided to go the academic way. I started studying both electrical engineering and computer stuff. I actually was expecting to be more like hardware related, but then they started teaching me how to code. At the very, very beginning, I hated it, but then it grew on me. Like 20 years later, here I am. My first language was Scheme. It's some type of functional language based on Lisp, and it was horrible back then. I didn't like it at least. So it was really hard, and I was in a group with a lot of smart people, so they were outperforming while I was mediocre at best. So it was a hard time. Yeah. So after some long nights, and once I learn how to do stuff, and once that I could see that I was making stuff, they teach your computer, a dumb computer, how to make great things. It's a super nice experience. I am not super social. I don't love being the center of attention or speak with a lot of people at the same time, but I love like one-on-ones. So being in Discord allows me to get to know new people, and the possibility to talk directly with our end users is great, because sometimes you get so like abstracted from them that you're just coding and stuff, but you don't know what they really want. So being able to talk with them directly, it's a great opportunity for improving the products. Sometimes you subscribe to a product or buy something, some software, the developers are just abstractions, the other side of the country, whatever. So we actually have hearts and feelings. For PDQ, this is Sergio. See you in Discord.
I had no idea that Sergio was in jail.
Yep.
That's all I want to talk about now.
I'm going to bring that up from now on.
Yep.
Also, brave of you to assume we all have hearts and souls.
Yeah.
Kind of a brave stance.
Yeah. Sergio's amazing.
Yeah.
I guess if you didn't catch that there, Sergio's really working on the agent side of Connect, and it's written in Rust, and it's so cool.
Yeah.
Like, he's such an amazing Windows dev. He's probably going to get mad at me where I'm like calling him a Windows developer, but he understands that Windows operating system and the quirks that are there with it. Let's just call them that.
And if you want to get to know Sergio a bit more, just join us in Discord. He is pretty active in Discord, and he's so good at answering questions. Yeah. He's good dude, solid dude.
Yeah, I'm also thinking, he said, I don't like being the center of attention, as it's like this interview of him like front and center, and then we're like, now go find him in Discord.
Yeah. Tag him in every channel, say you're the center of attention now, and we also know you went to jail. We know what you did in the summer of 2014. That's my guess.
Why 2014?
I don't know. I just picked a year.
All right, that's
an
a good
ancient year.
Ancient?
It's 10 years ago.
Oh, you're so young.
Yeah. Oh, man.
Okay.
Well, thanks, Sergio. I hope you're seeing this. You're probably not seeing this live because you don't like to be the center of attention. But if you see this later, thank you for participating.
If you see this later, and I message you something, you'll know what it's about.
You know what it is.
That's right.
All right. Eric, have we lost you? Or are you still here?
I'm still hanging.
Oh, you're still hanging around. All right. We haven't scared you off yet. Today, Eric's going to talk to us about new updates in SmartDeploy, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, these updates are awesome. So, yeah, Eric, go ahead and take it away.
Yeah, thanks. Thanks for having me on. It's always fun to showcase what the team's been working on. So this one's a pretty big UI update, and in those, I always like to show where we started from first, so that you can kind of get the visualization to where we are and maybe that aha moment. But this is the SmartDeploy desktop console. So this is what's installed with SmartDeploy and has been for years, probably since 2014. So let's say it wasn't that long ago.
Thanks, Austin.
That's a matter of opinion, Eric.
But the team has been working really hard on converting this over to a locally hosted web console. We're just calling it the web console for now. Kind of boring, but if you hear me slip and say consolo, that's been the internal code name for this. A little. ode
I just want to
Star Wars
pause. Like,
there.
that's such a cool name.
Yeah, that's way
Like
cooler.
consolo is so much better than like the web console.
You
Just
should
gonna throw that
slip
there.
all the time and just call it console. You
Yeah.
got to make it a thing.
Yep.
Yeah, so consolo moving forward.
That's right.
We released this version yesterday evening, actually, and it's got a little link to preview the new web console here, Consolo. And if we pop that open, you'll see beautiful new UI. Similar functions, and you have your left-hand nav with all of your assets and computer management and stuff like that you would see in SmartDeploy today. Looks much nicer, but this is much more than a UI change as well. There's also some awesome new functionality in here for users of SmartDeploy. So one of the biggest feedback items that we get is around multi-user support, being that the desktop console is just a Win32 app. You have to install it. If you want to share that, a lot of scenarios end up being, hey, we install it on a central server, you remote desktop into it, then you end up working in that manner. We all know that that doesn't always work. You end up stepping on each other. You can only have so many remote desktop connections. Now you can just go to a web page. I have this locally hosted, but if you're on the same network or VPN'd in, you can just go to the server name, load the page, and you have the ability to manage any of your clients via this web app. So it makes utilizing it as a department so much easier. In addition to that, prior, when you had the central server that you were remote desktop into, you were basically deploying everything from one server. So if we take a look at the way you deploy in Consolo, we go in, say we want to deploy an image, and we have a few remote offices here. So I'm in Seattle. We'll say our main office is in Seattle, and all of the clients report into the Seattle office, and I can see them here. But I know I have a couple of remote offices in New York and London, and then a bunch of remote clients that never go into an office. When deploying an image, you often want it to be as close to the user's device as possible for the best network speed, and so you don't congest things like VPN connections. So let's say this device is in London. I can select that, and here's my deployment package that I can send from there. Conversely, if I have something that's on the internet, somebody's at home, I can select OneDrive or any number of the cloud storage providers that SmartDeploy supports and deploy that purely over the internet. So you have the option now to select where the files are coming from, and you can get them for performance reasons as close to the endpoint as possible. So that's some of the cool new stuff that's coming in SmartDeploy. Like I said, this was released yesterday. If you want to go download and check it out, if you have any feedback, we're always listening, and you can send an email to feedback@smartdeploy.com.
Eric, that's super awesome. Just kind of, if for the chat, if you're not familiar with SmartDeploy, but you are familiar with PDQ Deploy and Inventory, this central server feature in Deploy and Inventory, that's essentially kind of what's happening here in SmartDeploy now, but it's also web-based.
Yep.
Right? So you're able to work on the same things together as a team, and you don't end up with like configuration drift or compliance drift. But I think like my favorite part of this whole new thing is the idea of a distribution point.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you create your own content distribution network.
Yeah.
Which is smart.
These image files, they're not little by any means.
No.
Right? So I think Eric called out like a point of like geolocation being one of them.
Yeah. VPNs over especially intercontinental distances are great.
Yeah. Like I think I was like giving you crap the other day because I was like, why is it taking me so long to transfer this 100 meg file
Yeah.
over the pipe?
He did say 30 seconds. This is the level of this man's patience. He said it took 30 seconds. It was
forever.
Yeah, that is a long time.
That is a very long time
for that size.
But I'm also thinking like this distribution point thing, and Eric, jump in and like correct me when I'm wrong, is maybe you're just in a large office.
Yeah.
Right? Maybe you've got a couple hundred endpoints at a time, just sharing the load amongst distribution points, right?
Yeah, well, not even geographical distance, but space, right? Think of a college or like a government entity, right? Like you can't, it's not easy to have one point of reference for especially pushing images, which are pretty chunky, especially if you're doing a lot at the same time, right? So,
So keep in mind, this was just released yesterday. We do want feedback. Like Eric said, it's feedback at smartdeploy.com. Is that right, Eric?
Yeah, that's right.
That's right.
And you can download it. I put the download link in the webcast chat so you can get your hands on this and play with it. It's pretty cool stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All righty. It looks like Marcel has a question in chat, and he's asking why we're on the highest VMware tier. Honestly, it's for DRS.
Yeah, we need. And we love spending money. You should ask PDQ. Say, do you guys love spending money? And they'll say, yeah, we do. Yeah, we do.
It's honestly the distributed resource scheduler is the thing that gets us there.
Yeah.
And storage clusters.
Except everyone's about to be on the new VMware tier because there's only one and it's expensive. Thank you, Broadcom.
Thank you, Broadcom. Oof.
Very nice.
Yeah.
All righty. I think we're up for actually what I've been most excited about for this entire show.
And I've been more excited than you.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't think anyone has had more rage about the studio than you.
That's true.
So it's fitting that you're here today.
I rage about just a lot, though. I'm particular.
Yeah. So maybe we'll just like preface it with AV tech, while it's cool, on the network side of the house, like RFCs are just suggestions. And they're loose suggestions.
Prices are just suggestions. They call it's an open standard, but they're going to close it as soon as they can. Ooh, and they're going to make you pay.
Oh, it hits. All righty. So why don't we take it away? Let's show us behind the scenes. Show us how we make the magic.
Show me the money.
All right, we're going to show you everything from behind the scenes that we use to run the studio. So we'll give you a kind of a peek at all of the elements. First, this video down here, this monitor is connected to the laptops that they use or the desktop that they use to show you things. So this is where we do all of our remote computing and demoing. Back here, we have our YouTube chat. It'll show up there. It's very big font so they can read everything and that they can kind of interact and know what's going on in the chat. And then for each of our cameras, we run Blackmagic 4Ks, and they each have this confidence monitor in the front. But from this 4K, we set it once, and then vMix allows us to kind of punch in on it. These cameras run Ethernet all the way back into, well, they run SDI to Ethernet, and they get all the way back into the server room, which then they're converted back from Ethernet back to HDMI.
Josh and Tara sit here, and these are the microphones that they use. These are RE320 mics. You may see them all over in the podcasting universe. They sound fantastic. We have these little receivers, so Josh and Tara can hear us when we're in the booth, and we can tell them, hey, go faster, go slower. We can give them all sorts of instructions. Now, all these mics go back into the studio, into our mixer, which is where we're headed right now.
Everything from the server room comes back into here. It gets converted, thrown into the back of a desktop. We have parity in there so we can hot swap machines, which is fantastic. In here, we run everything into a quick video DA. A lot of the video signals come in here so we can patch it around to wherever we need it to go. All the audio, like Kelly said, comes right here.
Yep, Behringer X32 mixer. This thing is fantastic. Everyone has their own source, their own pot. We can EQ, we can gate. We can make everybody sound great. It also acts as the interface for the computer and for vMix.
On vMix, we're able to take any of those cameras that are out there and create not only the shot that they're set up for, but we can punch down because the 4K cameras can punch in a lot tighter and make some fun stuff there. I've got a Stream Deck XL that has not only my camera shots, but also allows me to fire up little GIFs, animations, and or full-on stingers that I can use. I run a lot of the show right off that Stream Deck because it's so much more easy to have a tactile finger puncher. I can take anything that Kelly puts up on his machines over there, and then if I give him the signal, he can actually set these mics up so I can talk right into the ears of the hosts, or we can open them up so we can talk to everybody.
And then we've got the lighting board, which is a massive beast in and of itself. This thing, basically you could run a Broadway show with this. We've got it set up so basically you turn it on, move one fader, and all the lights that we want come on. Just that simple. At least it should be that simple. All of these lights are controlled by what are called little universes in a multiverse. Now, sometimes they don't come on when they're supposed to. We have to climb all the way up here, basically turn it on and turn it off again. We turn off the entire multiverse.
And that's it. That's how we put the whole show together. Hopefully that was insightful. Let us know what kind of questions you got. We're happy to answer them.
Those little multiverse things, the other fun thing about them is they run their own little wireless network.
Yeah.
This guy loves it.
Yeah,
It's
fun.
And it's like,
So cool.
so the high bandwidth network it runs with is at what, 2.4?
Yeah.
But it's also 900 megahertz too. So
Yeah.
it's just like noise, just radio noise.
And this building is concrete. So super fun. Super fun. My favorite studio thing is the very cool 10 gigabit Ethernet switch that they have. It's a Nexus switch. It's a data center level switch, but it's so I can go like this and talk to you. That's 10 gigabit quality right there. That breathing.
but it's specifically 10 gigabit RJ45, like Ethernet.
Yeah,
which is
copper.
weird. Which is weird for a 10 gig top of rack switch.
Yeah, it's weird in price too, because I guess it's a pretty rare, switch.
Yeah. Who's doing 10 gig copper cut through switching?
We are.
Us.
Yeah, we're a special little butterfly. I think when we asked for that, they said, "Huh?"
Yeah.
We said, "Yeah, no, we need that, and it has to be all 10 gigabit." And they're like, "All right."
Yeah, and they sent us like a couple different options that were like SFP. I'm like, I don't want to buy 48 SFPs.
Yeah.
Please no.
Yep.
What other fun things are here? Routing Dante. Have you ever heard that? Do you remember that protocol?
No, I remember. Oh, I remember. Yeah, Dante is great, and we totally use it all the time.
There was an idea, like once upon a time, that we could route audio right between not only the studio but upstairs. You've seen probably in a couple others, like the Whiskey Lounge.
Yeah,
that's up there. But the fun thing is, doesn't it reduce the TTL?
Yeah, so multicast can be routed, right? But they software lock that. That is a feature you have to buy. Is increasing the value of a few bytes in a header. That's insane. That's insane. But it's AV, so it's cool. It's normal.
But I can.
Yeah,
because if you need it, and you will pay for it.
See, like I will never pretend to understand AV. AV is like its own little land in IT world that it's like, I don't know. It's like Animal Kingdom, like you see it and you're like,
that's
man.
cool.
And some people love it. They're like, let's go Animal Kingdom. But me, I say, no. I don't understand.
Yeah. Well, it's like Kelly. It's like, when you guys talk about it, I just kind of, my eyes glaze over and I'm like,
Well, no, this is the funny thing, because when I listen to, Josh talk IT stuff, my brain is inputting it as nerd, blah, blah, blah. And then one day we were talking about AV stuff back here, and I looked at Josh and he looked at me and just went, nerd, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, oh my gosh, I know one thing that Josh doesn't know, one singular thing. So that's cool.
And at this point for AV, it's just like willful. I don't want to do it. I'm like, I know enough to know that only pain is here.
Well, that's why it's
my pain.
It's one of those technologies that literally requires specific roles, right? Like, it's not something you can just pick up and go.
But it's cool.
Oh,
like
it's cool.
The finished product is cool.
Yeah, the finished product is cool. But here's the other interesting thing is, they're talking about all this complex equipment and how expensive it is. To be honest, the barrier to entry into like audio, video, and streaming has dropped tremendously. You can really get a halfway decent system that looks and sounds okay for not a whole lot of money. So if you're interested in getting into that, oh boy, you really can. And it won't cost you a whole lot.
I think it gets like that single system setup, right? Like your Twitch style stream.
Yeah, that's super common. Yeah.
But the second you start trying to do this stuff with multi-cameras, multi-mics, between like disparate networks, all of a sudden the complexity is like logarithmic. It's like,
studio grade AV is a beast.
Yeah. I think, Kelly, like you've helped people before, right? After they've written in.
Yeah, I've had some folks that have been viewers of the webcast, and they've reached out and asked for help. One guy was setting a system up, a streaming system for his church, and wanted some pointers. I'm like, yeah, I'll hop on a call. And so we chatted for a while, walked him through a lot of the things that he needed, and he was quite surprised at how affordable it actually ends up being. Marcel asked what I have in my home. Well, y'all saw my home studio just a couple of weeks ago. Mine is primarily for audio. I don't do video there, but
my home studio is all video.
Yeah, you've got the video. I got the audio side.
Between us, I bet we've consulted and taught a whole lot of people how to build any size of studio. That was basically my job at Meta forever.
Oh, audio is even more interesting. You'll get what is this aux cable? And they'll say, "You fool, you absolute fool,
you fool."
That's actually the 35 millimeter, and you plug it into this. And if you want it to sound,
no, it's an XLR cable, or maybe it's a TRS quarter inch. I don't know, dude. I mean,
exactly.
I don't know. Does it fit? Plug it in. Try.
Does it work?
Push harder, Josh. Push harder.
Hey, that's what the APC guy told me last week. Turns out. To close that loop.
Yeah, you guys didn't see our...
Yeah, what happened?
At the bottom of the rack.
We ordered the wrong part. So
Years ago.
So it was either me, Katie, or Austin. One of us ordered the wrong part. Or all three of us ordered the wrong part. Or we were shipped the wrong part because it's off by like one number.
Yes.
So it turns out the push harder probably would have hurt us if we would have listened to APC.
Funny. We were so... attentive when we were purchasing things for this building. I would be shocked to find out that we overlooked that.
Hey, we only have 2 more to install today. Only 500 pounds battery.
Yeah, it cut Josh a few times. It bites him, barks at him.
Roof. Alrighty. Thanks for joining us today, everybody. As a quick reminder, here in 28 minutes, go see Mr. Hanks, Jason, give the Connect demo that's a live debug. And if nothing else, go enter for a chance to win a Steam Deck.
Yeah, tell them we sent you. Say Austin says that to tell you that I said to be here.
And to give me the Steam Deck.
Yeah, give me the Steam Deck. Or
all
else.
Right.
Yeah,
hit we're done. We've run out.
Yeah, we're out.
For PDQ, I'm Josh.
And I'm Austin.
Thanks for joining us this week. Do us a couple of favors, would you? Like and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Leave us your comments, and I will put that link in the chat one more time so you can check out the webinar and have your shot at a Steam Deck. Have a fantastic week. We'll see you back here next time. Bye-bye.